It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chilliefalls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. On this, what is today? The second day of March 2026, coming to you from my new studio in Louisville, Kentucky. Rainy day here in Louisville. Kind of yucky looking out. But we're supposed to get a little warm weather coming in this week, which will be nice. But it is going to be rainy. So I guess you can put up with that just to get a little bit warmer weather. So anyway, looking forward to that. Be nice maybe to get outside a little and get a little fresh air. So we'll see. All right, bring everybody up to date health-wise and so forth. Today's the first day that I've actually felt good enough to sit up and work. Okay, my feet and legs are still swollen, not as badly as they are, and goodness knows I'm not near as uncomfortable as I've been even up to yesterday. So feeling considerably better this morning. Of course, for the last couple days, everything was from the knees down that was bothering me. I felt pretty good everywhere else. I had a pretty quiet weekend here at Arcadia Senior Living Facility. I've met almost everybody. I went to a little bocce ball meet up on Saturday just to have a little something to do. I am going to go down for the cocktail party this afternoon, before dinner. I didn't make it down at all last week because I was just, by the afternoon I was pretty much laid out. I think I'll be able to do that today. So looking forward to that. But I've got to meet almost everybody here. And they've come up to me and they knew who I was. So, of course, getting everybody's name straight is a little difficult, but that's okay. It'll come in time. All right, so we'll be back with today's news. Oh, no, I got to do I'm not ready to do that yet. I'm getting the cart before the horse. Is that the way the thing goes? Anyway, this is the second day of March 2026. Brought to you by Will U.S., the owner of Scootaround, and by Chillie's Cruises. We've got some news stories today, folks. Of course, the lead story has to do with more of the world situation. Cruises shut down amid Middle East tensions. Also this morning, the billionaire who bankrolled Jeffrey Epstein and built a cruise empire. This was from an expose written by a well-known lawyer. So thought I'd share a little bit of that with you today. Also today, American Airlines expands Miami hub with 17 new gates. Also today, Norwegian Cruise Line extends drink packages at Great Stirrup Key. Elation investigates sinking sailboat. And a capsized boat discovered. Also, Puerto Vallarta calls canceled. That and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning, folks. Today is National Banana Cream Pie Day. Now, it's just curious because they don't know this, but we had banana cream pie yesterday here at the facility. I had a piece of banana cream pie at lunch yesterday, and I had another one at dinner last night. They had some left over, and it was really good. But today is officially National Banana Cream Pie, so go get yourself a piece of banana cream pie. I got a feeling it's gone here now, but I would think. This day in history, in 1925, the U.S. begins making and numbering roads across the country. Now, think about that, folks. Now, obviously, the interstate system was later, but before that, they were just roads. I guess they went from, you know, Abilene to Kansas City or whatever. There was no routing, no, I-10, well, it wasn't I, but Route 10 or Route 66. Boy, it had to be confusing as heck to go anywhere. Of course, back in those days, they didn't do a whole lot of travel, but, it got started. If you're a podcast person, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News, and voila, up pops the fat travel guy. All right, so we'll be back to actually get to the news today after a quick break from one of those fine network sponsors. All right, so let's get started here, folks, with the news and the, I guess you can call it international situation.
A total of 6 cruise ships remain stuck in the Middle East, which has quickly turned into a war zone following the joint US and Israeli attack on Iran on February 28, 2026. The situation remains volatile, with Iran now violently retaliating. Vessels cannot sail to safer waters without entering the Strait of Hormuz, which is dangerously close to Iran and is currently closed to shipping. Current guests also remain stuck on board as attacks on airports make flying home unsafe, with no clear indication of when they'll be able to go home. These are the latest updates for the impacted cruise ships. MSC Euribia has cancelled its March 1, 2026, departure from Doha, Qatar, and instead has hunkered down in Dubai, where it was scheduled to visit from February 27 to 28. The MSC ship will stay docked at Cruise Terminal 3 at Port Rashid in Dubai until further notice. TUI Cruises has not one, but 2 ships that have been impacted by the attacks on Iran. When the conflict escalated, Mein Schiff 4 was in Abu Dhabi, UAE, and Mein Schiff 5 was in Doha, Qatar. Both ships are operating multiple Middle Eastern itineraries simultaneously. For the time being, guests have been instructed to shelter on board, and passengers have been told to remain indoors and away from windows. No additional sailings have been cancelled or changed just yet, but TUI Cruises has already put out a warning that more changes could be coming, particularly for guests booked on March 3 flights from Singapore that are supposed to stop in Doha, Abu Dhabi, or Dubai. Note for guests of Mein Schiff 6, flights from Singapore from March 3, 2026, via Doha, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, the cruise line began. We are already in close contact with the airlines. Should any last-minute changes to your itinerary be necessary, we will contact you immediately and proactively, the update continued. On March 1, 2026, Mein Schiff 4 also experienced a scare when 2 Iranian missile-armed drones crashed in Port Said in Abu Dhabi, coming dangerously close to where Mein Schiff 4 is docked. Guests were asked to gather in the ship's theater while crew members took stock of the situation, but onboard operations have resumed as normally as possible given the circumstances. Similar to MSC Cruises, Celestial Cruises is taking a wait-and-see approach for its ships based in the Persian Gulf. The cruise line has decided that Celestial Journey will stay put in Doha and Celestial Discovery will hunker down in Dubai for at least 24 hours while the powers that be figure out the safest next steps. As of March 1, the initial 24 hours in port has expanded to a full week. Arroyo Cruises is a smaller, Arabian cruise brand that currently operates one vessel, Arroyo Manara, out of Abu Dhabi, Doha, Qatar, and Dubai. While the cruise line has not issued any official itinerary changes or cancellations just yet, guests have been warned that updates may be coming very soon. The situation in the Middle East is still very tense and uncertain, and more changes and cancellations are likely to come for cruise ships deployed to this region. Guests who are currently on board impacted ships or are planning to embark soon should follow the instructions of the relevant authorities and look out for updates from their cruise line. Happy International Wheelchair Day. Get free wheel accessories wheelchair access. To celebrate, we're giving you up to $350 in free accessories when you purchase a new Will electric wheelchair or mobility scooter. Purchase by March 15th and personalize your new device with additional arm cover colors, spare batteries, storage bags, cane holder, and more. Use code WHEELCHAIR350 to get $350 in free accessories with a Will Model C2, F, or R purchase. Shop online or call 1-844-664-7467. Use SRN 11137.
The information in this story was gleaned from a detailed post by attorney Jim Walker. For nearly a decade, billionaire financier Leon Black helped build one of the largest cruise companies in the world while quietly maintaining a controversial financial relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. As co-founder and longtime CEO of Apollo Global Management, Black played a central role in transforming Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings into a three-brand cruise powerhouse. During that same period, from 2012 to 2017, Black paid Epstein a total of $170 million for what he described as tax and estate planning services, years after Epstein's 2008 conviction for procuring a minor for prostitution and his registration as a sex offender. The payments became public in 2020 through reporting by the New York Times, sparking intense scrutiny and ultimately leading to Black's resignation as Apollo's CEO in 2021. In 2023, U.S. Senate investigators characterized the payments as inexplicably large. Black has also faced civil allegations of sexual misconduct connected to Epstein's properties. He has denied all allegations and has not been criminally charged. Building a cruise empire. Black's influence on the modern cruise industry is significant. In 2008, Apollo paid $1 billion for a 50% stake in Norwegian Cruise Line and gained majority control of its board, helping stabilize the company during financial turmoil. Apollo had previously acquired Oceania Cruises in 2007 and Regent Seven Seas Cruises in 2008. Norwegian Cruise Line Holdings went public in January 2013, with Apollo retaining a 32.5% stake. In 2014, Apollo sold Oceania and Regent to Norwegian for $3.025 billion, formally creating the three-brand structure that remains in place today. Apollo fully exited its stake in 2018, generating billions in profits over roughly a decade. Much of that expansion occurred during the same years Black was making substantial payments to Epstein, a relationship that continues to shadow his legacy in both finance and the cruise industry. A major expansion is coming to Miami International Airport as American Airlines unveils plans to significantly grow Concourse D, the heart of its Latin America and Caribbean operations. The Dallas-based carrier released renderings of the D60 project, a three-story expansion that will add 17 larger gates designed to handle widebody and other larger international aircraft. The new gates will replace smaller berths currently limited to regional jets and will connect arriving international passengers directly to the airport's customs hall. The redesign also aims to ease congestion. Instead of a single shared boarding area, each gate will feature its own dedicated boarding space, a change expected to reduce crowding, particularly during peak departure times. The Concourse D project is part of a broader investment in Miami. American previously announced plans for a new flagship lounge and the conversion of its existing flagship space into a larger Admirals Club. Both located in Concourse D, Miami is an essential hub and international gateway for American, said CEO Robert Isom, noting the airline's long-term commitment to strengthening its presence in South Florida. American accounts for roughly 60% of MIA's total traffic and plans to operate more than 380 peak daily departures from the hub this summer. New routes launching this year include non-stop service to Milan and Bimini in the Bahamas. Construction on the Concourse D expansion is expected to begin in 2027. Guests sailing with Norwegian Cruise Line will continue to enjoy complimentary beverages ashore at Great Stirrup Cay through March 2026, after the cruise line temporarily reversed plans to end the perk in February. The line had previously announced that, starting March 1, 2026, onboard unlimited beverage packages would no longer be valid on the private island. A new island-specific drink package was said to be in development and expected to go on sale January 1, but no such package has yet appeared on NCL's website. In a new email to booked guests, Norwegian confirmed that existing unlimited beverage packages, including More at Sea, Free at Sea, and Free at Sea Plus, will continue to cover drinks both on board and on Great Stirrup Cay through March. Guests who purchased one of our unlimited beverage packages will now enjoy their favorite drinks from ship to shore, the notification stated. The temporary extension offers relief to passengers who voiced frustration when the original policy change was announced. While the added month softens the blow, questions remain about what the long-term beverage program will look like once the extension expires. Carnival Elation alerted the United States Coast Guard after spotting a disabled sailboat drifting 33 miles off Port Canaveral on Sunday, February 22. The 34-foot vessel, Spiritus, had suffered a breakdown with one man on board requesting urgent assistance. By the time rescuers reached the scene, the sailboat was taking on water and listing, with the situation quickly turning critical. Coast Guard Sector Jacksonville coordinated the response, deploying a Station Port Canaveral boat crew, an Air Station Clearwater MH-60 Jayhawk helicopter, and an Air Station Miami aircraft. Working alongside a nearby container ship, crews were able to safely remove the sailor and tow the stricken vessel as it began to sink. Thanks to the swift, multi-agency effort, sparked by Carnival Elation's initial alert, the mariner was brought safely back to shore just in time. Carnival Sunshine experienced an early morning power loss that has delayed its return to Norfolk, pushing embarkation back by roughly 5 hours for guests sailing yesterday. The outage occurred as the ship was concluding an 8-night Eastern Caribbean cruise that departed February 21. While power has since been fully restored and the vessel is operating normally, the delay impacted its scheduled arrival time. According to Carnival Cruise Line, the ship was assisted by tugboats to enter Norfolk in compliance with United States Coast Guard requirements, resulting in an unplanned early afternoon arrival. Because debarking passengers must clear the terminal and parking areas before new guests can board, embarkation for the next cruise was been pushed back several hours. At around 8:15 a.m. Sunday morning, Carnival Jubilee crew noticed a floating object on the ocean surface ahead. After investigating the floating object, they found a capsized boat floating in the open water. Crew members immediately sprang into action in case emergency help was necessary. No persons were found on or near the capsized boat. Debris and markings on the boat indicated it had been there for some time. Jubilee alerted the appropriate authorities and continued towards Mahogany Bay, Roatan. The arrival was not impacted due to this safety operation.
Carnival has adjusted its operations in the Pacific by temporarily removing Puerto Vallarta from its Mexican Riviera schedule following unrest in that region of Mexico. Recent violence tied to cartel activity after the death of a cartel leader in western Mexico led to heightened security alerts and the U.S. government travel advisory recommending increased caution. Although shelter-in-place orders were later lifted, cruise lines have taken a cautious approach to port calls in Jalisco state. As a result, Carnival Panorama's scheduled call at Puerto Vallarta on February 28, 2026 was cancelled, and the vessel remained at sea or spent additional time at alternative ports while the carrier assessed conditions ashore. The suspension of calls to that destination is being extended over the coming weeks, with no firm date set for resumption. Other cruise operators have made similar adjustments, with several vessels electing to bypass Puerto Vallarta amid the broader Security Level 2 advisory issued by the U.S. State Department for parts of Mexico. Alternative ports, such as Cabo San Lucas and Mazatlan, have been substituted for itineraries where feasible. Customers can rent a mobility scooter for just $150, $450 value, a power chair for $175, $375 value, a manual wheelchair for $65, $250 value, or an oxygen concentrator for $100, $430 value, on one-way transatlantic cruises. Additionally, you can get a complimentary scooter or wheelchair for any companion you are sailing with. This offer is good for all cruises sailing from any U.S. port to the following European ports: Amsterdam, Netherlands; Barcelona, Spain; Copenhagen, Denmark; Rome; Civitavecchia, Italy; Southampton, UK; Call 1-888-441-7575 or email info@scootaround.com and ask about our transatlantic promo at the time of booking. Valid for sailings on or before April 30th, 2026.
All right, that's going to put an end to the news portion of today. Excuse me. Take a sip. Put an end to the news portion of today's show. Let's go over in the chat room and see who is with us this morning. There's Gary Older Than Dirt says, good morning, everybody. And Amico John is with us. Yippee-ki-yo. War reporter Chillie bringing all the news. What a crazy world we live in. You know, John, I was just kidding when we were sailing around Cuba and I was saying, see, there's no boats getting blown up. I would have had a stroke if a missile had landed right near the boat like it did on Mine Ship 4. Good Lord. Hot Air Tom is with us. Says, good morning, everybody. Back in Richmond. Nice ride on the Amtrak auto train Saturday and Sunday. Gretchen's with us out in Ohio. Hi, Gretchen. There's Mike on the other side of the pond. Good morning. Mike says, good morning to Chillie and everyone. Bob's with us. Good morning. All booked on Harmony of the Seas for August 21st. Very good. Lovely ship. I really liked Harmony of the Seas. Gary says, chocolate martinis at Cocktail R? I don't know. I haven't been there. I don't know what they have. I kind of doubt that they fix chocolate martinis here. This isn't like a full-fledged bar. This is probably like a staff member with a bottle of rum, and I don't know. I haven't been there. I'll give you a report back Wednesday. How's that, Gary? But I feel quite certain there won't be a chocolate martini in my agenda for the day. Great to hear you're starting to improve health-wise. Yeah, man, I tell you what, this has been the last, say, week of the cruise, not even the week, last 3 or 4 days of the cruise, and then the travel time. It was rough, a lot rougher than I've gone through with for some time, Mike. So, yeah, I'm glad to be back, getting closer to normal. There's Sonny says, you look good today, Chillie. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sonny. And that's it. I feel better too. John said yesterday that I was looking better. Well, I don't know about looking better, but still, that's what he said. Roger's with us down in Jacksonville. Hey, Roger. Thumbs up number 2 from Jacksonville. How did the Afghanistan and Iraq wars work out? Well, that's a debatable one, Roger. There's Steve out in Kentucky. Good to have you, Steve. Steve, we found out, lives right out here in my general vicinity, about 15 minutes away. So when I get back on my feet, well, let's come for a visit. That'd be nice. Todd says, good morning to everybody. Good morning, Todd. Hot Air Tom, how far from Lorton, Virginia to your house? About an hour and a half, Hot Air Tom says. Sad part is the train passes about a half mile from my house. Our room attendant told Cindy he could throw us and bags off as we passed. But what about the car? Well, that's true. You'd lose the car if they did that. Does your home have a barber for your needs? Oh, you're asking me that? I need a cut again, getting fuzzy, and I just did it the day prior to leaving, January 30th. Yes, we have a barber shop here, so I don't have to worry about that one. Hot air tongue. I don't know if it's a barber shop or somebody comes in on a given day. I'm not sure how they work it. I mean, my doctor isn't here permanently, but she came in, for my appointment with her. So they have a thing set up on visiting folks for a lot of services. And they're doing things like there's a group going out to Target today, shopping at Target. I'm sitting here looking at they have one of the kind of short buses. It's probably 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 10 or 12 passenger buses, which is wheelchair accessible, which is nice. I'm sitting here looking right at the back door. It's parked right out my window. For going around the facilities. Met the owner. He owns a number of these. Matter of fact, he was here serving coffee this morning. I met him last week one day, and he was out of town for 3 or 4 days, and back here this morning serving coffee at breakfast. So, very nice gentleman. So, all right, that's going to wrap it up for today, folks. Thanks for being here. As always, smash that thumbs up button. We appreciate that. And if you have not subscribed, please consider doing so. I know we've got a few new folks watching. Glad to have you with us. Folks that we met on these last couple cruises have been added on. So feel free to hop in and say something in the chat room. We'd appreciate that. So, but anyway, make sure you do subscribe. And there's Jamin's with us. Hey, Jamin, how are you this morning? Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or I go live. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for being here. Stay safe, stay healthy. Think about cruising. And hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a great day, everybody. And I'll see you on Wednesday.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.